Hey y'all, if you are in the mood for a talking video versus a sharing and showing video, then this is for you. I just have been contemplating and thinking over the past few days and thought I would share some of my thoughts with you, so none of this is really planned. So hopefully I don't ramble on or have too many squirrel moments. But I have been, as always, working in my room, and I've kind of been sorting things that are loose because I am notorious for buying things and putting them in a box. So I'm kind of separating out my embellishments. I have a lot of paper, but as I said in previous videos, paper is not my problem. It's embellishments. I probably have way more embellishments than, well, not probably, I know I have more embellishments than I could ever use. And so the beginning of the year I had canceled my subscription kits, and to be honest with you, at this moment I am not really missing them. And I did buy, because I'm not on a no spend, and I did kind of start out the new year buying. I bought a class. I bought another Vicky Booten class that's next month that came with product. I'm doing the We Create Together that comes with product quarterly. And I will be doing some buying on International Scrapbook Day weekend because I received a gift card from a wonderful friend that I am going to be saving for that weekend to maximize the use of it. And I will be buying in July when I go to the car stamp and scrapbook expo. Other than that, I'm planning. Okay, I'm not going to say I won't because things change. I'm not planning on buying anything unless there's just something that comes out and just takes my breath away, because working in my room, I've come through some realizations, and watching a couple of things video wise, I come to more realizations. And I have been kind of tracking my numbers this year, and I knew it wasn't going to be a pretty picture, but it's better than what it could have been if I had kept my subscription kits and kept bringing product, because I am a slower scrapbooker. I don't have opportunity to scrapbook every day to go through my stash. So far this year, I have bought into this house 176 pieces of paper. I have used 81 pieces of paper. So that leaves me, I call it a deficit of 95 pieces of paper that I am, let's say, behind, for lack of a better word. So I have 95 pieces of paper that I have brought into our home instead of making a dent into what I have. And at the rate that I scrapbook, I'm pretty sure come the end of the year it will still be in the minus, because I haven't in my count included my papers from the Crop and Create delivered box that I got, and we get a lot of papers with those. And I have yet to complete an entire Crop and Create delivered event and done everything for the event. I've done some on some, and I've done a lot on some, and that was another goal of mine, is to dig into those things that I paid money for. And honestly, that hasn't gone real well either, just because of life happening, and this is a hobby. You know, it's something that I do for pleasure and makes me happy, and it's a hobby, and we just, we don't really get to do our hobbies as much as we like to, along with other hobbies I like to do and other responsibilities that I have. So that being said, I recently watched some videos by, it's called A Beautiful Mess Extreme Cleaning. My friends shared it with me about a lady who was getting help in her scrapbooking room. And she, if you go Google it, you can find it. You may already seen it. But in her scrapbooking space, she just had piles of stuff, of crafting supplies, a lot. And she also does her own little video on the side called Clearing the Clutter. And I guess she has this issue in her whole house, so she's getting help with that. But when she's clearing the clutter, I recommend you watch her and listen to her when she talks about her scrapbooking supplies and how she accumulated so much. And I've seen a lot of Tuesday morning sticker prices on products as she was, she kind of fast forwards through the video of her working, but she talks over it. And I've seen a lot of Tuesday morning price tags, which was one of my downfalls, because I drove past a Tuesday morning all the time, and I'm like, oh, let me just stop in and see what they have. And that's, I think, how I ended up with so many embellishments. Because if they just had the embellishment, you didn't know next week if they were going to get the paper that goes with it. And then it's just a continuous cycle. And, I was stopping by there. I used to go there once a month, and then I was stopping by there every week because, I didn't want to miss out on anything. And, but she was really interesting to listen to, so I watched that. And then I watched another show that had nothing to do with scrapbooking, but it was kind of showing how people lived in the 40s and how minimally they lived, and how little that they had. We live, I think, in excess in today's time. Houses are bigger, people have multiple vehicles. It's just a bigger life. It's not a simple life anymore. And it was a issue of Hometown. If you watch an episode of Hometown, if you watch Ben and Aaron Napier, and they were taking one of the housing authority buildings, and they made a museum out of it. And in the back of the building, they kind of renovated an apartment and made it true to that time with the furnishings and, the way things were decorated and used. And they had some people who grew up in the housing authority, or family members who did. And the funny thing is they all talked about the love and the memories. It wasn't have to do anything with things or what they had or didn't had. It was about the memories and the love that they remembered when they either lived there or had a family member that lived there. And it was the memories that they remembered. It wasn't the stuff. So that's kind of been resonating with me also. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about that, talk about my numbers and what I have been working on here and there. And that's basically it. I don't have any big words of wisdom, or I just wanted to share my progress because a lot of times you see videos and people are able to create a lot of scrapbook layouts and they use up a lot of paper, which is amazing and wonderful, but that is not everybody. Oh, I am so tickled to see when somebody has a big stack of layouts that they make, that they're able to do that, and they're using up, their product. And I am just not one of those people, but I can celebrate those people who can. But I know there are more of you out there like me than probably care to admit. And I just had a point and I forgot it, what I wanted to end this with. Let me stop and think a moment. Okay, so it is many hours later, same day. Sorry for the shadow, but there's nothing to look at. It's dark outside. I tried and tried to remember the last point I was going to make, and I couldn't remember, and I had to leave. I went and did help my mom out in the yard. So I listened. Well, no. So I made an ending to the video. Obviously, I must have not recorded it because it wasn't there. So on my way to my parents' house, I listened to what I had said already, and it pinged me. And I remembered I wanted to talk just for a minute about purging. I am not a big purger. If I'm purging something, it's probably 20 plus years old because I like what I buy and I love what I have. And I have a friend who is a brutal purger. And she even says you have to be brutal about it. Curly Q Scrapper. Go check her out on YouTube. And she can do some purging. And when I watch videos where she does her purging, it just hurts my feelings so bad. Because I'm like, oh, why are you getting rid of that? Her last video I watched was she was going through her summer items, and she's like, had these simple stories brads. She's like, well, I have 2 of these, so I'm going to get rid of one. And I'm like, oh, you hurt my heart. But to each their own, and we kind of kid about it. But anyway, I am not a big purger. I am a slow scrapbooker. So I don't want to, I'm running out of room. I'm fortunate enough to have a craft room, but it's always in a state of chaos. And I just keep bringing stuff in and was putting it in boxes. And I was going through a drawer where I had just put some stuff. And I'm like, I didn't even know I had this. When did I buy this? So for me, that's like getting a little out of hand. And since I don't like to purge a lot, my solution is to not bring more into my room, I have brought more, but not to bring as much as I normally do, to kind of wean myself. Because there's product here that I love that I couldn't wait to get, and I have it, and I haven't even used it. So I'm kind of on the lines of thinking, why bring in more products that I love when I haven't used the product that I love that I already have in my possession? So that was another reason behind the logic of canceling my subscription kits. And I would have thought I'll never cancel my scrap room kit because I loved it. And I love it still. And would I love to still continue to get it? Yes. But when I look over to my left and see that I have over a cube, and when I'm saying cube, it's those Michaels square cubes. They're like, what are they, 13 by 13? When I have over a cube, maybe a cube and almost a half of unused scrap room kits that I love, I just really don't need to be bringing more in. And I love what I have. I mean, I am getting rid of some things here and there, but it's minute on a scale of making room to bring stuff in every month. So that was my last comment that I had forgotten about. And I did want to say that I have made so far, because I talked about my paper, that I have 95 extra sheets that I purchased this year that I have not used. Not those sheets in specific. I'm just saying I've added to what I have by 95 sheets. I've brought in a lot more than what I've used. And I have made 19 layouts. Now, I count each 12 by 12 as a layout. So, even if it's a double page, that still, to me, counts as 2 layouts and a mini album. So, for me, that is good for me. That is good for me. That may be a weekend for you, a day for you. It might be 6 months for you, but that is good for me. So, that is it. That's all I wanted to talk about. And if you listened the whole time, thank you. And we'll see you next time. Bye.